Welcome back, everyone. Marvin Jackson, along with Lou Holder, Donna Hopkins, and Lake Lewis. And we're going to talk about the next game coming up in Atlanta for the Washington Commanders and what's coming next in this season. And we're going to start off with Donna. You know, what do you think about this team and where they're going? I mean, are they really that good?
You know what? Atlanta has won games. This is a dangerous game for the Commanders, too, because we don't know which team is going to show up. So, I mean, they've got a rookie quarterback in Desmond Ridder, and they've got a great running back also in Robinson, Bijan Robinson. And so this Atlanta team is not a bad team. But my question is not so much the Atlanta team, is which team is going to show up for Washington each week. Is this defense going to bounce back with the injuries that they suffered? Are they going to be able to turn it around? And this offense, are they going to be able to, on the road like they did in Philadelphia, to put together a solid game? And as they say, are they going to start fast? Chase Young talked about, we just need to start fast. And my question was, why haven't you all been starting fast? So this is a big question mark game against the Atlanta Falcons, because right now nobody is afraid of this Commanders team.
Lou?
I'm going to take it a little step further. I mean, for the first 5 games, I put it in segments. The first 5 games, they're 2-3. They're next. They got the Falcons. They got the Giants. They got the Eagles coming in here. Then they got to go back on the road to play Seattle. I mean, this is going to be a critical stretch of games, and they're mostly on the road. Home games are such a commodity, and they boo-boo themselves on 2 games at home. Now they got to play on the road. And at the beginning of the year, even if you were doing the thing like, well, we got that one or that, you don't have anything now. You can't say Atlanta. You can't say the Giants. You lost to the worst team in the league. And so now everything's up for debate. So it's going to be a big stretch of games right now where, as Lake said in the break, everybody's job. I mean, it could be a whole different football team after these next 5 games. And the only one at home is against the Philadelphia Eagles in 3 weeks.
Lake Lewis?
Yeah, absolutely. Agree with Lou wholeheartedly. I mean, you dropped 2 games at home that you were supposed to win. You can't have that, So now you travel on the road against a tough Atlanta team, meaning they play hard. You think of what they're trying to do with Arthur Smith, their head coach. I mean, he has them playing physical football, similar to what he had when he was the offensive coordinator for the Tennessee Titans. And the running game is going to be there. Bijan Robinson's a great young rookie. But I think the backup in Algier, I think he's a guy that could have a big game for Washington. So Desmond Ridder, they're not asking him to do much. This isn't him at Cincinnati in college, where they had a spread offense. They're just asking him to, manage the games and hand the ball off and not turn it over. And I think if they do that this weekend, Washington's going to have their work cut out for them. And again, to go back to what Lou and Donald were saying earlier, if you lose this game against Atlanta, and then you have the Giants coming up. That's a divisional game. Throw out the record of the Giants. Throw out if Daniel Jones is hurt or Saquon Barkley or whatever. You have to win these 2 football games if you want to have a season. If you lose these 2 games coming up, or even in my opinion, lose one of these 2 games coming up, this is gonna be a tough time in DC. And I think there's going to have to be some changes made if they don't win these 2 games that are coming up.
A lot of away games, as you said. So that's going to be tough on the road. We don't know. I mean, they may play pretty well on the road, but we'll see. Also, I think that, you got to start looking at the coaching situation too here. When teams are inconsistent like that, a lot of times it's either because they're young or because of the coaching. What do you say, Donna or Lou?
Hey, Marvin, you absolutely right, because this coaching staff beyond the enemy has been together long enough to turn this around. It's been a lot of ins and outs and all of that, but you got to start looking with the new ownership. And I go back to Magic Johnson and looking at his face, the way they were getting beat and their intensity and all of those things that Magic was talking about. You're talking about a winner. They've already accepted this coaching staff. Now, will they do it after this Atlanta game? And if they lose another one, will they make it within the meat of the season so they can save the season? it's a bunch of question marks. And I think the coaching right now, everybody's talking about that players need to look in the mirror. Well, they need to look in the mirror also.
All right. And Lou?
Ron Rivera, I think there was one season where he was 500. Every other season that Ron Rivera's been here, he's been under 500 the first 5 games of the season. So that was all well and good under the Dan Snyder era. I'm sure that Josh Harris and all them are looking. I mean, I think they got to be real careful because you don't want to be one of those knee-jerk ownership groups that just starts firing people. But as Lake said, if you do not, after what happened on Thursday, if you do not have a better effort against Atlanta and or against the Giants, and Philadelphia comes in here, you're going to have to do something because the honeymoon period for the ownership group is over, right? It's over at this point. So now something has to be done. And when you look at Ron Rivera's record over the last couple of years, that's not going to play out anymore. People want to see more than just mediocre football, especially with the height of this defense.
Lake, we got a few seconds. Will Ron Rivera be here at the end of this season?
No, I'm saying it right now. I just think
didn't even stumble over that.
He let him finish the sentence.
No, the seat's hot right now, and I think that
it's on fire.
His main problem is his loyalty to Jack Del Rio. That's the problem in itself, right there. If you were to off Jack Del Rio, you could save your job, Ron Rivera. Yes, it could. And you could run the defense because that's what you did when you were in San Diego and all these other places. But his loyalty to Jack Del Rio is going to get both of them canned if they don't change this thing. And I just don't see them having it in their arsenal to make any changes to change it.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, guys. Before we go, we're going to send some love out to Bowie State family. There was the gun violence on campus during homecoming. And Lou, why don't you talk about that? I mean, your daughter is a student at Bowie State. What do you like to say? And I mean, I'm an alum, and
right. It's not just Bowie State. Morgan State had their game canceled because of some violence that happened the week before. It's just a tough time. I mean, we all know we love covering the pro game, but we all have college roots, and we know what it's like around this homecoming season, and just the bands and the atmosphere, and whether it's a PWI or an HBCU, and to see what happened at Morgan State and to see that game being canceled or postponed, and then to see the aftermath of what happened after the Bowie State football game, it's just a tough time. And I'm just sending up positive vibes for all these football teams and all these students that are on these campuses, because this gun violence has got to end. And a lot of times it's not even the students that are at the school that are the intended targets. It's these people that come, or the individuals that come with some kind of axe to grind from somewhere else. And it just ruins some great memories and great times for these young students that are in school.
All right. I have some great memories, homecoming at Bowie State and also Morgan State, because I had people there. So I just like to say, let's not let this define those universities, because traditionally and historically, there was always great homecomings. So, and always there was great feedback from you guys. You guys were great today. So thanks so much. Lake, thanks for joining us.
Appreciate it.
We'll be back next time on the Sideline. So take care, everybody.